guys. So this is something that I stumbled upon recently, and I just wanted to make a quick tutorial about it because I find it quite interesting, and I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna love it. So I'm just gonna launch my rigging tool here and make myself a circle. Okay. Now what this is going to be about, it's going to be about a pivot control, and it's really cool. So how do you make a dynamic pivot for your control? So I'm just going to make myself a little control here, name it my control or something, or just, control to just keep it simple. Then I'm going to make myself a duplicate of it and shape it like something like this. And that's going to be my pivot control. Don't you love it? It's nice shape, right? Pivot control. Now, the first ways to go about it is to have it parented under your control, like that. And obviously make sure you don't have any scales anywhere, because that's a bad thing to have scales. And then in our node editor, what we're doing is, first of all, display no shapes. We don't want to see shapes. Shapes are not good here. We just want to load our control and our pivot control. And what we want to do here is get this pivot control to its translate, I guess. We want to plug it into a rotatePivot of that control. Now Maya doesn't like it, so it opens me this connection editor and it wants me to just connect it there because I don't know why. But it is what we have to do. Translate, and I can just type in rotatePivot. So here I select here, now it's connected. It went italic and it's connected. Close, and there is a connection. There you go. So that's one thing. rotatePivot is one thing. Another thing is the scalePivot. You need to do both separately because unfortunately that's what we need to do. So you're just going to grab that translate and plug it in there again. Other and scalePivot. And again, Maya doesn't like it, so you got to do it here. So translate needs to be connected to scalePivot, and there it is. So we connected our translate to both rotatePivot and scalePivot of the control. Now what does it mean? Well, it means that when I move my control, it's cool. When I rotate it, it's cool. But now when I move this guy and I select my control, look, my control is now rotating from there and scaling from there. How cool is that? So it's pretty cool, but then you will notice that once you have a cube or something, and I'm going to make this cube maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe let's make it like 4. And let's make it like 2 in Y. Okay, that's a pretty big cube. So basically, then what I want to do is I'm going to put that cube geo inside my control. All right, and then it's going to work fine because parenting geometry to the control, it allows you to completely bypass the problems that I'm about to show you. Right, so this works perfectly good, right? But this works well with parenting. Now, if I don't want to parent it, if I want to just use like a constraint parent and constraint scale, obviously, then once I start moving that pivot, it's not working, right? So that's pretty sad, but don't worry because there is ways around it. Because maybe you want to constrain your controllers to the geo to your controllers. That way you don't have to break your hierarchy and you can keep your geos in one group and your controllers in another, right? It's always a good thing. Like for instance, maybe this is my control group in my rig. I like to organize things, controls group. And maybe this is my geometry group, right? But then if I constrain it, it's just not going to work. And if I parent it under, I'm breaking my structure here. So yeah, so what's the way around it? Well, as you probably have guessed, you can create like a little locator and put it inside there. And this could be your control driver, to which we constrain. And then what you can do is you just, because it's in that group, you can just constrain your geo to that driver. You just never constrain it directly to your control. So that's one way around it. And then as you adjust that pivot now, you can see that it's doing its job, you know. So that's something, and you can use that for like a dynamic pivot on a foot rig or something. So it's pretty cool for sure, but maybe there is an easier way to do it. And maybe constraints are not the best thing to use for this. So what we can do instead, we can just delete this guy completely. And then there is another way to connect things in Maya these days. And basically, this control is in that space here, in the world space. This is in a world space. Obviously, when you have a geo like this, you don't want to probably keep the values on it. It's not healthy. So you might want to freeze it all. And then obviously delete the history because you're a proper rigging person. And then basically what you want to do is you can select this control, go to your node editor, and there's this thing here that's really awesome these days that's called matrix, you know. And then you have that geo. And that geo, you can grab this matrix of this control and plug this matrix of this control into this geo, believe it or not, offset parent matrix. This is something that they added and it's really cool. You can use it instead of constraints, and this thing doesn't really care about pivots. So it's kind of like a constraint, but it doesn't exactly use pivots for it. So what you can do now is, look at that. You can just move stuff around and things are working the same way. And you can move it, you can scale it, and you have your thing basically parented with offset parent matrix. So I'd say this is the way to go. But there is another way that I want to show you because my buddy showed it to me once. And I just have to show it to you guys because it's really cool. So how he was doing this thing, he was doing it differently. He was not using any of that, and he was not using any of this. What he was doing, he had a pivot outside of his control. Pivot outside of his control. So he would put the control pivot, and then he would put the control inside that pivot, like that. And so then what he would do, he would create an offset group on his control and name it control offset, which would all be in the same space. Maybe let's hide that for now because it's probably not showing you what I want to do. And then what he would do smart thing like this. He would go to node editor, and in his node editor he would connect this control pivot to the control offset. And he would use this node that we're all using, multiply divide. By the way, if you don't know how to make nodes here, just press tab and start typing. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to check out my Patreon and website. I offer even more in-depth tutorials, many of them free, but the best and most exclusive content is on Patreon. There, I share my game development journey and create regular rigging and character game dev courses. By supporting me, you're helping me create more quality content, and we both win. Visit my website at cornica3d-click, or join me on Patreon, patreon.com/cornica3d. Thanks for your support. Yeah, so now that we have this multiply divide, we basically grab this translation and plug it into here, into input 1. Then, as you can see, I have it already open here, and Ctrl A will show you if you don't have it. And then you can multiply it by -1. So you select all 3, multiply by -1, and then you plug it into the offset, and you just plug it into translate of that offset group. So then what happens is you got it already working. So as you're moving this, your control is not moving. But now if you parent this geo, I feel like this geo is a little bit too big. It's super annoying. Let me just scale it down a little and move it down. Yeah. So if you like constrain this geo now to your control, you can move it using your control, of course, but you can also use this pivot. Oh la la. Moving the pivot. Oh, it's the same thing. Sounds like it. Yeah, sounds like it's the same thing here. Oh well, so we can do the parent offset matrix, or we can do a locator, either way. Or we can just parent the cube directly under your control. constraints are still affected, but if you just do it simply like this, locator, and then just grab it and constrain, parent and scale, then now, yeah, let me show you how it works. So you just move your stuff here from here, but then you can just do that, right? So that's what my buddy was doing. He was doing this kind of thing, which is different, but it's similar. Then you basically use this pivot control to rotate, but you still have this that you can still move it, right? So it's really up to you how you approach this. I think I prefer the first approach, and rather than using this locator here, I'll probably just go ahead and use that offset parent matrix because it's just really cool. So I would just basically load it here and then go matrix, offset parent matrix, and then from there I would just have this kind of thing where, you know, this thing is not working now. Sounds like I need to grab a world matrix, not just a matrix. So world matrix of this, plug into offset parent matrix of that, and then, yeah. So why do I need to grab the world matrix? Because my controller here is already parented under something else. And that means that when I grab its matrix, I'm grabbing that matrix in relation to its parent matrix. And world matrix is always going to get you the absolute position and rotation and transformation of the object in the world space. So yeah, just a little bit of quirks. Basically, just keep trying, and if it doesn't work, try world matrix instead. And as you can see, it's all working perfectly. And yeah, so I presented you 3 different solutions for dynamic pivots in Maya. And, you know, just knock yourself out and choose the one you like the most. All right, guys, see you in the next tutorial.